Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast. My name is Nathan Stroud, and today we're going to be going over the Orioles and Red Sox game that ended literally like 10 seconds ago. Wanted to obviously get this video up and going for you guys, but the Orioles-Red Sox game just ended, and the Orioles win 6-3 over the Red Sox. They are now 9 games below 500, officially out of the double digits. Again, they've been in this 7, 8, 9 hole before. That was before the trade deadline. But the Orioles are sitting in a position right now that's a little bit interesting. They're 9 games below 500. Obviously, we understand that this season might be and probably is, in terms of expectation for, making the playoffs. It's probably not going to happen. But we can always hope and dream and believe that, a miracle can happen. But for the way that these Orioles have looked recently, I mean, anything really is possible. And before we go into the stuff today, because there is quite a bit to go over in this game, what I'm going to say is Orioles baseball as it is right now, over the past, week or so, Orioles baseball recently, especially over the last 2 to 3 days, this has been probably the most fun Orioles baseball has been, and most exciting and hopeful Orioles baseball has been probably over the last year. Really ever since the struggles of the second half of the 2024 season, and then obviously everything that's happened this year so far. Getting Samuel Basallo up, getting Dylan Beavers up, and then Trevor Rogers continuing to just dominate game after game this year. Those are the three extremely hopeful factors that is really being the reason why why Baltimore baseball is fun right now. And fun again, because I'm not going to lie to you guys, when we were losing 24-2, when we were losing 21-6, when we were losing all these heartbreaking and getting absolutely blown out of games earlier this season, and even going back to last season when the Orioles were just losing such heartbreaking games in the second half of the year, and obviously the playoffs and all that stuff, Orioles baseball was a little bit dry. And when I mean dry, they were obviously very much underperforming, underachieving based on their expectation. But I can officially say to you guys right now that the Orioles just may be back. And again, it is a little bit late in the season, but what's good about doing what they're doing right now, and what Jordan Westbrook said the other day, is that playing winning baseball right now can carry the momentum over into next season, and it can also really force your general manager to make moves this offseason to eventually help the team be in a better position for next year. So overall, we understand what the Orioles' expectations were this year. We understand that they have come, very short of that. But Orioles baseball right now is at an all-time high, and there's a lot of things that really stand true, as of right now. And there's 4 things that really stand true. 1, Gunnar Henderson is still that guy. Gunnar Henderson is still Gunnar Henderson. He still has that fierce mentality of a competitor, and he wants to go out there and win. He hit a solo home run today. He also had an RBI triple in this game, and he was fired up. You can just tell by his expressions. And also he made a couple fantastic plays at shortstop today, like he always seems to do. Gunnar Henderson this year, you can tell he has really taken a leap at the shortstop position. And also just overall, the home run numbers still are a little bit down based on your expectation. I think he hit his 16th of the season today. But overall, Gunnar Henderson is still Gunnar Henderson. The batting average is still there. He's still the guy that we know and love, and he is still the best player on this Orioles team moving forward into the future, and he's still our star. But there could be lots of potential stars on this Orioles team, including guys like Jackson Holliday, Jordan Westbrook, and more importantly, Samuel Basallo and Dylan Beavers, who have looked incredible in their first couple games of their major league careers. I'm starting off with Samuel Basallo, who today had his first, he had lots of firsts in this game. He had his first extra base hit, and he also had his first multi-hit game. He went 2 for 5 today with 2 RBIs. His first hit was a double off of the Green Monster, which was incredible, and he had a close safe at second on that double. And you can just see the opposite field power that he has and how hard he's hitting the ball. Even on the foul balls, he hit an 115 mile per hour off the bat foul ball. Which, even though it was foul, you can just tell the power and the sound off the bat that this guy gives off. We understand this guy's going to be a star. We understand that this guy's one of the better young stars in baseball. I think he's the youngest player in baseball right now. Actually, he just turned 21 a few days ago. And overall, I mean, he is going to be an absolute star for this Orioles team. But it does bring up some uncomfortable conversations that we'll go over, maybe not today, but maybe down the line when it does become an issue, probably over this off season, is when we're really going to have to start talking about things. And when I say that, I'm talking about the Adley-Rutschman conversation. I'm talking about really just the Adley-Rutschman conversation, because Ryan Mountcastle, ever since he's come back from IL, has been excellent. He had a 3-hit day today. Again, Ryan Mountcastle, I don't know how presumed of a role he's going to have going into next season. With Kobe Mayo as well, they want to get him a lot of at-bats. He did not play today. Ryan Mountcastle was at first, and then Basayo was catching in today's game. Adley also didn't play. That's why I was talking about the conversation. But the sample size is just way too small to judge. But Basayo had an excellent day today. Obviously, the double off the monster was his first hit. And then he also had, in the top of the ninth inning, a 2 RBI single, very similar to what happened in yesterday's game. And you can just tell he's patient with his at-bats. He's swinging at the right things. He only struck out once today, but he's getting the ball in play. He's doing his thing, and he's playing excellent. Today he was catching, and he played very well at the catcher position today. Obviously, the battery of today's game was Basayo and Rogers, which is, the best possible, scenario in my mind. But we'll talk about Trevor Rogers a little bit later in this episode. There's not enough words in the world that I can use to even begin to describe how good Trevor Rogers has been for the Orioles this year. It's literally a historic start for a Baltimore Orioles pitcher. He has the best ERA of any Orioles pitcher in history over their first 12 starts of a season. He has been incredible. Nothing short of incredible for Trevor Rogers. Went out there today, 7 innings, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. Just absolutely elite numbers from Trevor Rogers again. His ERA went down to like a 1.41, which when you're only giving up 1 run a game, when your ERA is at a 1.4, it can't really get any lower than that. So Trevor Rogers continues to just be absolutely incredible. We'll go over that a little bit more later. But another guy that I want to talk about, obviously, is Dylan Beavers, who Basayo and Beavers are the two guys that we've been talking about all year, waiting for them to get called up. And Beavers has been nothing short of amazing as well. Today was his 3rd MLB game. Obviously, what was it? His first game, obviously, he got the leadoff double. Yesterday, he had another hit. And then today, not only did he have a hit in today's game, he had his first multi-hit game as well. So Beavers and Basayo both getting their first multi-hit games on the same game today here in Fenway Park in Boston on the road. And obviously iconic stadium that everybody knows, Fenway Park. They went in there before the game, signed the monster, all that stuff. But Dylan Beavers in today's game was excellent as well. He went 2 for 2. He had 4 total at-bats in this game, and he reached base all 4 times. He had 2 hits, he had 2 walks, and he also had 2 RBIs. So he brought in his first RBIs, and he also had his first multi-hit game and multi-walk game of his career. Got on base all 4 times, Dylan Beavers did. He was excellent. And again, Beavers and Basayo have been so incredible for this Orioles team. And somebody else that I want to talk about that hasn't really been getting a ton of recognition because of guys like Beavers and Basayo and the hype and the expectations surrounding them. But that's Jeremiah Jackson. And Jeremiah Jackson has been playing incredible as well for the Orioles. He had a multi-hit day today as well. But Jeremiah Jackson is somebody that the Orioles called up right after the trade deadline to kind of be just an extra outfielder that the team could have. But the Orioles have been kind of forced to play him every single day in either right or left field. He's been forced to play every single game, and he's doing an excellent job at that. He's been hitting the ball well. He's making good plays out in the field, and he's been really doing his thing today. I think Jeremiah Jackson was DHing today because we had Dylan out in right, we had Carlson out in left, and then we had Kalzer out in center. But overall, Jeremiah Jackson has been playing great. His bat's been great. His fielding has been great. But he's another young Orioles player who is also doing well. So Jeremiah Jackson, Samuel Basayo, and Dylan Beavers have all been playing excellent, obviously alongside the other young guys in Jackson Holiday, Gunnar Henderson, Jordan Westberg, all those guys. But there is a little bit of bad news that did come out of today's game, and it happened very early in today's game, and that was Jordan Westberg did have to leave today's game due to ankle discomfort. I think it was his left ankle discomfort for Jordan Westberg. He did have to leave today's game. He got taken out of the game, was replaced by Luis Vazquez, who got a hit in today's game. But Jordan Westberg yesterday had a 4-hit day with four RBIs. It was one of his best games in his career. And today, unfortunately, the first game on the road here in Boston, he did, roll his ankle a little bit, got into some, had to get taken out of the game with left ankle discomfort, which is very unfortunate. Hopefully, if they do, an x-ray, hopefully it's nothing too serious. Hopefully, at the minimum, he'll be out for just a few days, and hopefully he'll be back. I'm praying that he doesn't have to get put on the IL, because if he does get put on the IL, that'll be his third IL stint of the year. And Jordan Westberg has been somebody who, when he's on the field, he is incredible for the Orioles. But even last season, obviously, he dealt with that fractured thumb last year for the Orioles. He was out for he was out for a really long time last season, and then this year he also. No, I think last year was like the ribs area, and then this year it was the thumb, where he was out for a little bit. This year was the finger. This year was the finger. The thumb was Colton Cowser. Sorry, there's been a ton of injuries. There's just too many to even remember. But Jordan Westberg this year dealt with a couple of injuries, was on the IL a couple times, but he's played a majority of the season. He's played a lot of games this year, but hopefully this ankle discomfort does not lead to anything too crazy. Hopefully he will be back here within the next week or so. I just really do not want him to go back on the IL. I really just don't want him to go back on the IL, because if this Orioles team has any chance to, even if they want to go out there and push for the playoffs, they are going to need Jordan Westberg on this team. And I really just hope that he doesn't go on IL. I hope that this is just a minimum little week-long injury, and this is nothing too crazy. It just looked like a rolled ankle. It didn't look like anything extremely serious, but hopefully he'll be back as soon as possible, because he's somebody who really needs to be around for this Orioles team the rest of the year, because again, he is one of the key cornerstones of this Orioles offense. But overall, that was kind of the gist of the game, but let's just go over this game in more detail. So going over this Orioles game, obviously the Orioles win 6-3 over the Red Sox in Game 1 of this little 2-game series. The Orioles win this game 6-3. Their record goes to 58-67 on the year. They are officially 9 games below 500. They are now within single digits, which is interesting. I'm not going to say anything too much about it, but it is interesting. The offense was incredible today. 12 hits on the day, scored 6 runs on those 12 hits, went 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position, and left 10 guys on base. So they had a lot of opportunities to score. They left a lot of players on base, but they did still end up scoring 6 runs and was still able to get a win out of it. A big thanks to the pitching, and really just a big thanks to Trevor Rogers, who I'm more complimenting Trevor Rogers more than the other guys who pitched today. But overall, the pitching was great. The hitting was great, 6 runs on 12 hits, and overall, left a lot of guys on base, but still, it is fine. A win is a win at the end of the day. But going over this game, Jackson Holiday was leading off. He went 0 for 3 with a run scored and got on base twice with 2 walks. So overall, a decent game for Jackson. Was able to get on base twice and score a run out of it. Jordan Westberg only had 1 at-bat, did not get on base at all, but then had to get replaced by Luis Vazquez with the ankle injury. Again, hopefully it's not anything too serious for Westy. But then Luis Vazquez came in this game and actually got his second hit of the season. He went 1 for 4 with a run scored. Gunnar Henderson in this game. And there was 5 different Orioles in today's game that had multiple hits. Gunnar Henderson was one of them. He went 2 for 4 with 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and a solo home run. The 2 RBIs that he scored, or the 2 RBIs that he drove in, one of them was a solo home run, and the other one was a triple. Those were also his 2 hits in the game, a triple and a home run for Gunnar Henderson. He also scored 3 runs himself. So overall, he was incredible. 2 for 4, 2 RBIs, a home run, 3 runs scored. Incredible as always for Gunnar Henderson. Ryan Mountcastle in this game, he had the most hits on the day by any player today. He went 3 for 5 with an RBI. And this is what I'm going to say about Ryan Mountcastle. We can actually take a little bit of an in-depth look here, but he has been playing incredible since he got called back up from the IL. If we go back to when he first got called up, it was in the month of August. And since Ryan Mountcastle has been called up, he has a 280 batting average with 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. He's been great. He's been great. A 280 average. He's been doing his thing since he's been called back up. Shout out to Ryan Mountcastle, who was like the oldest player who batted today for the Orioles. He's 28 years old, but he's like the veteran of this team just because it's such a young team. And another fun fact that I heard on the broadcast today was this entire Orioles team that played today, all the hitters and Trevor Rogers included, the whole entire starting lineup. The average age was 24 years old. Obviously, there's 2 21-year-olds in this lineup in Basayo and Holiday, but that is just incredible. It's very, very, very cool to see how young that this team is and also how much they're producing with how young they are. It just really goes to show how bright the future is for this Orioles team. And the future was never in danger with this Orioles team. We always knew. There was other people that were saying that, the Orioles are going to have to go back into a rebuild after they just got out of one because of the season that we're having. But we knew that was never going to be the case. We knew that we had guys like Basayo and Beavers coming up. We knew that these guys are still so young and on the rookie deals and producing and doing their thing. And again, this team needs a retool and just a vibe change in the whole thing. And just an identity overall this team does need, because that's really the only thing that they're missing right now is a true identity and just like a leader in terms of their manager. And Tony Mancelino, I love Tony. I think he's a great person. I think he's a great third baseman coach, but I just do not think that he is going to be the manager for the Orioles moving forward. We'll see what happens when it comes to that time in this offseason. But overall, again, it was a great game. Colton Cowser in this game, he did not have a great day today. He went 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, so he definitely had the worst day of anyone that played for the Orioles today. Not Basayo. Colton Cowser, 0 for 5, 3 strikeouts, not a great day from him. But then Samuel Basayo was batting 6th today like he did yesterday. Another incredible game for him. That's back-to-back games now with a hit. He had 2 hits today, back-to-back games with 2 RBIs. And Samuel Basayo, we talked about it earlier, but he went 2 for 5 with a run scored and 2 RBIs. He's looking very good in his at-bats. He had a 2 RBI single in the 9th inning, and he also doubled off of the monster, so he looked very good there. And then Jeremiah Jackson went 2 for 5 in this game, another multi-hit game for him. He's continued to play great. He has a 341 average on the Orioles in his games that he's played and the at-bats that he's had. Basayo with a 333 average in his first 2 games. Jeremiah Jackson with a 341, which is crazy. But someone that's even more impressive in terms of batting average is Dylan Beavers, who's sitting at a 364 batting average and a 500 on-base percentage in his first 3 games. But Beavers in this game had 4 at-bats, got on base all 4 times. He went 2 for 2 with 2 hits, and 2 walks and an RBI as well. So shout out to Dylan Beavers. And then Dylan Carlson in this game went 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. So overall, Beavers, Basayo, Ryan Mountcastle, Gunnar Henderson all had incredible games today. So shout out to them, and they really led this offense to the win. And then going over to the pitching. And going over to the pitching, there's someone that we really need to start having some serious conversations about, and his name is Trevor Rogers. And he has been incredible all year long. You go back to Trevor Rogers' first start of the season. It was back in May, I think, right? It was back in May. I think it was this game actually, May 24th. Yes, May 24th was his first start of the season. And he went out there, got through 6.1 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, had 5 strikeouts. He was incredible in that game. And ever since his first appearance of the year for the Orioles, he has been not just amazing, but a step above that. Absolutely incredible, untouchable this season for the Orioles. He gets his 6th win of the season. He has 6 wins in 12 starts. He's 6-2 in his 12 starts this year, and once again he has another gem of an outing. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts across seven strikeouts across 7 innings. Again, 7 innings, 1 run, only allowed 4 hits, 1 walk, and had 7 strikeouts in the process. A 98 pitch count across those 7 innings. His ERA is at a 1.41. Elite numbers, and I think of every single pitcher who has had 12 starts this year, he has the best ERA of any of them. I think there's like 171 pitchers that qualify. He is the best ERA of them all. 7 innings, 1 run. I mean, just another incredible start by Trevor Rogers. Dentrich Ends came into the game, and then Yennier Cano also came into the game for the bullpen. Dentrich Ends gave up a run, and Yennier Cano also gave up a run in this game. So the bullpen got a little bit shaky, got a little bit close at the end, but the Orioles were able to go out there and pull off a 6-3 win over the Red Sox. And then tomorrow is game 2 of this 2-game series. So at the worst, they can split, but if the Orioles win tomorrow, they technically get a 2-game sweep over the Red Sox. But if the Red Sox wins, then they split the series, so it's not too big of a deal there. But tomorrow, it is going to be Tomoyuki Sugano versus Walker Buehler. And Tomoyuki Sugano, we've talked about this, he has had some very good starts recently. In his last 4 outings, 5 innings, 1 run, 7 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 3 runs, 6 innings, 1 run. Obviously, the 5 innings, 3 runs isn't great, but the Orioles were still able to win that game. And also in his last 4 starts, the Orioles have won all of his last 4 starts, and he is 10-5 on the year. And for having a 10, which is also top 20 in baseball in terms of wins. But to have a 10-5 record on a team that's, pretty much double-digit games below 500 is incredible. But Tomoyuki Sugano, if you look at his season overall at, pretty much, mid-August, it's looking pretty damn good. 10-5 with a 4.13 ERA. The ERA is nothing too crazy. It's 40th in baseball for ERA, 4.13 ERA, nothing crazy. But it's also not like absolutely horrible either. But the 10-5 record is something that is really, really good. And the Orioles have won a majority of their games that Tomoyuki Sugano has been out there. Almost a fifth of their wins this season have been when Tomoyuki Sugano has been on the mound. So that's a really cool thing for Tomo. I don't really know what his future with the Orioles looks like. I don't know if he's going to be on the Orioles next season. Again, he's a 35-year-old rookie who signed a 1-year deal with us. Obviously, he is a Japanese pitching legend over in the Japanese league. And I don't know if the Orioles are going to decide to maybe sign him for another 2 years or something. But to be honest with you, I don't really know if I would be mad at us bringing him back. He's somebody that, at the start of the year he was incredible. Then I think teams started to figure him out a little bit. Then he had some really bad starts in a row. But recently he's been incredible. He's somebody that, it's their first time pitching in the MLB, first time pitching in America. And I think he's just somebody that is starting to really figure out the vibe. So if the Orioles trust this guy, I would not be opposed to him coming back next year as a back-end starter for the Orioles. Again, the Orioles in this offseason need to clean up their bullpen and also maybe add another quality starter to their lineup or to their rotation. Obviously, we're going to be getting Kyle Bradish back within the next week, so he's going to be ready to go for the rest of this year, and also hopefully praying for no injuries, but hopefully for next season as well. So hopefully these starting rotation for the Orioles next year looks something like Trevor Rogers, in no order by the way. Trevor Rogers. Trevor Rogers, Dean Kramer, not Cade Povich. Well, maybe Cade Povich, but maybe Tomoyuki Sugano. I don't really know. It just depends on what we decide to do. But adding another quality starter would be great. But Trevor Rogers, Dean Kramer, Kyle Bradish, Grayson Rodriguez, and then maybe adding another quality starter there, or maybe having Cade Povich, Tomoyuki Sugano as a back-end starter. I don't really know what the vibe's going to be. Another pitcher that's going to be coming back to the Orioles very soon is Tyler Wells, who is someone who I think we're going to insert right into the bullpen. I think that's where he needs to go. He's someone who excelled as an Orioles bullpen guy. He was someone that did fine as a starter at the beginning of last year and the year before that as well. But Tyler Wells is going to be coming back soon. That's just more pitching coming back. But adding another quality starter and revamping the bullpen are the two biggest things that the Orioles need to do in this offseason to kind of make sure that they're ready to go for 2026. But tomorrow should be fun. Sagano versus Buehler. Hopefully the Orioles can get a win tomorrow and get the 2-game sweep. But thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode of Birds of a Feather. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow up on Spotify, and also make sure to like the video on YouTube as well. And also, if you want to see more content like this, make sure to follow the Twitter and follow the Instagram. On Instagram, I post updates every time an episode is releases, and then on Twitter, I post live game reactions, live game updates, live reactions to any sort of Ravens or Orioles news. So make sure to check that out. Again, no Ravens content today. Nothing crazy happened today. Another good practice for the Ravens from what I heard, but we are getting closer and closer to football season. 20 days away from the first game against the Bills, so that's going to be a lot of fun for the people that are interested in the Ravens content. Obviously, I am absolutely ecstatic when it comes to Ravens football, and it's going to be such a fun year. And again, we're going to be covering it every single day once the season gets up and going. And then for the Orioles, obviously Orioles baseball right now is the most fun that it's been in a really long time. Over a year now. This is the most fun and the highest that it's been. And the happiest that it's been in a long time. So, obviously 2023 was excellent. 2022, even the end of the year was excellent. 2024, the first half of the year was great, but 2024 second half was bad. This entire season's been bad, but right now, with guys like Basayo, guys like Beavers, and the performances of, Trevor Rogers, it has really brought this season back. And the Orioles just might be back, but it might just be a little late in this season for it to really matter from a playoff standpoint. But again, they can carry this momentum into next year. So it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot to look forward to in the future. But again, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. I'll see y'all later. Go O's, go Ravens, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out.